There's the 100 you gave me last night.
Okay, do you need this to make the tip?
They've been letting me put it on the credit card now, so...
Okay, if they don't, then I'll just pay both of our tips or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll be back.
so just let me know.
So Patrick, I'm asking you one question I would like you
Okay.
to respond to. What is your level of awareness of the UN Office of the Future and our purpose?
First of all, I don't have a deep understanding, but I'll tell you what my understanding is from what I know.
That's all I'm asking.
I think a particular gentleman came up with the idea, and I can't remember what his name is because I'm
Mitchell
not
Gold.
close. Yeah, but and I don't know if you initiated the idea, it was somebody else. And the concept is that the UN has offices, so it has the General Council, which are the people who are from the different countries meet, and then there are different offices, and the offices hand things. So, for example, one of the newest offices is the Outer Space Office or something like that. And then they have like spokes of a wheel, where there are different people can come to them and propose an office. And usually it's a long process to make that happen. But even if they don't make it happen all the way, they recognize those offices and they usually participate in conversations and such. My understanding with the Office of the Future is that the UN is not doing peacemaking, they're keeping peace. They're not promoting peace. And they aren't thinking about the future. I mean, I guess they are thinking about the future, sort of, but mostly they're not. And so I believe that the underlying concept is that we need an office that reflects the value that we need to think of the future and create the systems so they can match that vision or dream of the future. And at the same time, they also bring up the things that aren't working in the UN, you know, which to me is a really important thing because the UN is very closed, you know, in a circle, and we need to be able to speak to the leaders and be able to say, you know, hey, this is not working, or you guys are taking money from these guys, and why are you doing that? There needs to be some kind of monitoring and keeping it together. So with what little I know, I think that those are some things that the Office of the Future is in the process of doing or has been doing.
Okay, that is a good overview, but it misses some of the key points that we've been enunciating. I'd like to share them with you so that you can, next time you're asked a question, you can be more knowledgeable on the subject. The UN itself is a broken system. We know that. It's wherever it expands its influence, it's expanded without clear thinking. It's expanded based on old thinking. One of the old thinking problems is the UN resident coordinator. The UN resident coordinator does not exist in the existing system in the donor countries. The guys who got the money don't have anyone to coordinate its distribution. The distribution the money goes into the UN system, either into one of 5 agencies: UNICEF, UNEP, the General Assembly, the UNFCCC now, and development, UNDP. So the money right now is sent to these agencies by countries, the donor countries, and they lose control of it. And it comes into an agency that has no one in authority of the distribution. The receiving countries...
I'm sorry, just one second. I need to make sure I have to leave just so I want to make sure a waiter is coming in my direction.
there's no waiter over here.
But if you see a waiter while I'm talking,
yes.
I have to pay so I can leave.
I got
so
it.
Go, continue with what
I
you're
got
saying.
it.
I just want to make sure I don't
Yes.
miss.
So the one important thing is a UN resident coordinator. We need to have one.
Okay.
The UN Office of the Future is going to appoint them in donor countries.
Un momento.
Yes. I'll get them.
Amigo! Por
La
favor.
cuenta.
Can I get a check for Patrick and for Kathy? Okay, go ahead.
Okay. UN Resident Coordinator is one key component of the UN Office of the Future. 2 is implementing UNDRIP, the Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People. And that's, the UNDRIP has not been implemented around the world yet. There's opposition, and even though we've endorsed it all around the world, it hasn't been implemented. Implementing UNDRIP is the second key. A third is implementing ISO 26000. The ISO 26000 are standards for corporations to abide by. The UN blocked it through the UNGC, the United.
Mitch?
Yes.
I'm so sorry, but I'm going to be out of time before I hear the end of what you have to say. Continue going, but try to cut to the chase because literally I have to go.
This is the. When this is done, I'll be done. When you finish this, all right?
I just don't want
I'm
you
aware.
to
I'm
run out of time. So go ahead.
I'm not. I'm watching the time
Okay.
very
All right.
closely.
Thank
I
you.
just need attention.
Ok, you pay total, ¿verdad? Son
And
tres.
for Kathy?
Katy,
Okay,
cappuccino.
Yeah, so I pay for these two, and then she has.
280,
So maybe bring me
280,
20.
300.
Yeah, sí. Gracias.
Ok, muy bien.
Go ahead. Now we're good.
Okay.
Let's see. So you left off with the
I'm-
indigenous people. Then you were talking about
ISO 26000.
That's where you were. just
Yes.
finishing.
And the ISO 26000 are standards.
480 serían 320.
Okay.
The I don't know if I've done 3. 4 is the 1% solution that we all have credit cards. When we use our credit card, 1% goes back to the UN agency of that country.
Okay.
So it's called the 1% solution. It was there's a long story on it.
Right.
So those are the 4 main components of the UN Office of the Future. There is a UN summit in September called by the Secretary General, who doesn't understand the UN Office of the UN Office of the Future. Hopefully, our process will get us on their agenda, and we'll be able to bring policy change at the UN to have them endorse peacemaking instead of
That
peace.
would be an amazing thing. To
Well, that
have happened.
we need.
You like cake or it's okay?
Let's see. We got 30, 40, 50. Actually, it's totals. Just you keep this, okay?
Thank you, sir.
So I paid our tip and stuff, and I paid your bill.
Oh,
okay?
thank you very much.
So we're good. That's,
Pay with credit card.
gracias.
Okay. Lastly, the UN Office of the Future, just the closing comment, is that we have organized a relationship with Younga, Younga. Younga is the youth of the world organizing at UN level.
Okay.
And that's
That's kind of about as far as I can go.
That's
I
as far
have
as-
some connections that might help, so
Well-
in the future we may speak a little bit. Also, for example, the Undersecretary General called me yesterday, so I speak with those people there, but not typically about these kinds of things.
right.
But I have close relationships. Sometimes we can talk. Sometimes when other people can't.
When you have time, let's have a Zoom call.
Yeah,
and
we
then
can try
we
to
can,
do that.
and then I'll keep you informed
the-
of how Younga is moving.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
You know what? Basically, the
relations.
light is.
God bless. Heal. Heal.
I got to turn. Now she's taking